Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's still my email. It is still in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Reach out to me for pricing. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a classical late 90s Chronoswiss Chronometer Chronograph. A remarkable combination of a sterling silver dial, vintage-inspired 38mm steel case, and a handsomely elaborate 7750 derivative. It was created by watchmaker and watch enthusiast G.R. Lang, who started as a chronograph watchmaker for Tag Heuer with motorsports focus in the 1970s before creating Chronoswiss in the 1980s. As mechanical watchmaking was drying up, he created Chronoswiss in Munich, Germany, not so much as a Swiss watch brand, but as a tribute to the Swiss watchmaking tradition. So it says Swiss made on the dial, but it is a combination of Swiss and German. It has dual citizenship. The watch is 38 millimeters in diameter in steel. It measures, in profile, 14.9 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 48.4 millimeters, with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. G.R. Lang, who reportedly owns somewhere between 800 and 1,000 watches, he was one of us, a watchmaker who got high on his own supply. He loved to wear watches, collect watches, discover watches, and it's fun to look at a watch that's designed by someone who is exactly of our mindset. And because this is a mid to late 90s style, the size is reasonable and it wears well on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist. So if you are of a mind like myself and G.R. Lang, you will find this wears quite well on a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. Taking a quick look over the top, you can see the lugs are out to the edge of my wrist, but not over. And the cuff shot reveals it will fit underneath most shirt sleeves and just about all jackets. We have a high-grade, medium rectangular scale alligator leather strap, gloss in a medium blue, a little bit of stuffing or bolstering to give it volume, monotone stitch, a folded edge. On the bottom, you can see Chronoswiss factory strap. Chronoswiss is still very much around to service your watch and provide parts. Calfskin on the bottom. We have a snap-shut friction fit stainless steel deployant clasp to match the stainless steel Chronoswiss watch. You can see it's branded externally. Snaps shut, and by the way, you can see it has the B of Brogioli in there. That was the Swiss supplier in Ticino who made that clasp. Part of paying tribute to the Swiss tradition is referencing different parts of that tradition. So we have this coined bezel and coined caseback, as well as thrusting straight lugs that are reminiscent of Breguet, as well as the kind of officer's watch that would have been converted from a pocket watch in the early 20th century. And you can see we have this vertical satination on the caseband and the lugs, then polish on the lug hoods and polish on the bezel. The strap is in fact fit to the case using screws and bars, much like a Breguet, but also like a historic officer's watch. So it's a very secure and upscale system, screws and bars. If you want to know how the Chronoswiss rules work, historically, you would get the reference between the lugs. So this is chronograph reference 7523, and then you get the serial number at the top of the dial also between the lugs, and you can see that there. We have a little nod to the Patek Philippe Tasti Tondi, or round button turbine chronograph pusher caps from the 1463 Patek Philippe, and then a vintage-inspired Breguet, pilot's watch, officer's watch, or even pocket watch-inspired onion crown. The dial is made of sterling silver and it's cut on traditional lathes to create a lovely 4-register guilloche pattern. You can see several different patterns of guilloche as well as linear brushing of the metal. We have these lovely Breguet-style numerals and modified Breguet-style hands. The watch does feature a solid silver dial that has been silvered to create this silver white. On this dial, you can see a Grand Orge, you can see barleycorn, basket weave, crosshatch, many different guilloche cuts here, but the dial itself is made of sterling silver and it is lathe turned. You could see that the watch also has a pleasing cruciform symmetry. Some folks find the skeletonized Opus chronograph difficult to read. This is everything that is. It's just a more conventional solid dial. So we've got chronograph minutes, we've got chronograph seconds, we've got chronograph hours, then we've got our running seconds over at 9 o'clock, and a radial date. Let's just make sure we're not in the date change danger zone here, because I never want to use a quick set if the watch is going to roll over and we're in the danger zone. The danger zone, by the way, for a date change is usually between 8 p.m. and 4 a.m. just to be safe. Now, we have a bidirectional quick set for this pointer style date, so either direction. And then we also feature a hacking or stop seconds function. Chronograph caliber 741 is a highly modified 7750, and it is a certified Swiss chronometer. You can see it's got the chronometer grade balance and hairspring, unidirectional automatic winding, 42-hour power reserve, bidirectional quickset date, stop seconds, 25 pivot joules, 4 Hz beat rate, and of course it is a combination of a cam chronograph with an oscillating pinion. And a lot of folks don't realize that the oscillating pinion, which has refound favor in recent years with Richard Mille, F.P. Journe de Bethune, the oscillating pinion has always been a feature of 7750 movements. So if you press and hold, a lot of times the chronograph hand will start with no jump or stagger as smoothly as if it were a vertical clutch. And that's because the oscillating pinion, while a lateral clutch in architecture, has a much smaller amount of inherent play than a lateral clutch. So it's an unusual refinement that's become popular with very expensive brands, but because this is 7750 derived, this has it too, and the watch is 30 meters water resistant. If a watch from Chronoswiss from this era had Pacific in its name, it would be 100. Reach out if you love this watch. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.